Hi everyone, it's Alyssa. Welcome back to my kitchen. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. We are doing our spice of the month. We are gonna spice up our kitchen with something a little unique and a little different for us. This month we have lavender. So a lot of people know lavender for its relaxing properties when used as an essential oil, something that you can inhale, spray on your pillow, take a bath in, put in your lotion. You can also use it for culinary purposes. So we are making today one of the recipes from the pamphlet. There are 3 this month because I wanted to show you the variety and I wanted to show you that you can use lavender in savory applications. So I have 2 savory recipes in our pamphlet and of course 1 sweet one. And of course I'm eventually going to make the shortbread because lemon and lavender is a wonderful combination, one of the best. A lemon lavender olive oil shortbread with that honey glaze, that sounds amazing, but I'm not making it today. I'm making the other recipe that intrigued me the most, which was the onion pie with bacon and blue cheese and lavender. Would never think that those things would go together if I was just dreaming up a recipe, but now that I hear it, it sounds amazing, right? Blue cheese has kind of its own floral, robust notes. Lavender is a little sweet, a little minty. There's a hint of citrus and earthiness, but there's that beautiful floral fragrance that influences the flavor. Caramelized onions, can't go wrong. There's a lot of butter in those caramelized onions that are cooling right over there. And then we have like milk and we have cream or milk. I'm using whole milk and eggs, so it's kind of like a custard base and a pie crust over there, which I used a pre-made pie crust. But lavender, yeah, so it goes with a lot of different applications. You can use it in like an herbs de Provence, which I have an infused oil here that I got from Trader Joe's. And so the herbs de Provence is rosemary, bay leaf, thyme, basil, marjoram, savory, oregano, and lavender. And then extra virgin olive oil for this infusion. And you can use it on chicken, on pork. I think it will work well with lamb. Really delicious. And then also I have for myself here a different application is I have a whole tin of this culinary grade lavender that was sold as tea. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like. I have a white tea mug so you can see how that looks when I pour in my hot water, and it'll be nice and relaxing while I finish up making our pie. Then we'll put it in the oven and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna grab my hot water that just boiled. I'm gonna pour this in. It smells so good. It's sweet and perfumey, but there's something else to it that's just very unique. Okay, how's that? Okay, I'm gonna show you what that looks like. And the color changes as it steeps, but right away it's a pretty blue. So let me show you how that looks. All right, so you can see right away it's kind of like a dusky blue kind of look over here. So I'm gonna let that chill, let that steep for a couple minutes. And I'm gonna work on my onion pie. Move this to the side, I don't need that today. So I caramelized my onions. I didn't get like a lot of color on them, but you can see they're all broken down. They're almost jammy in this butter. Here there's salt and just a little bit of sugar in them. And they cooked for, I'm gonna say I did it nice and low and slow for half an hour to 45 minutes. The recipe for that is also included in your pamphlet, or if you know how to caramelize onions, but this was 2 very large onions, so it was about 2 pounds. So I have that ready to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our whole milk and our eggs, and we're going to whisk those together in a big bowl. Okay, so I'm gonna do half a cup of my whole milk or cream, whichever you're using. I grabbed the whole milk because I'm not gonna use cream in another application, but I can probably find myself using the rest of this some other way. All right, 2 whole eggs. I'm gonna whisk those together. Okay, let me rinse my hands really quickly. Okay, so now I'm gonna whisk this until it is all incorporated. We don't want to see any of the strands of the egg. We just want it to be, you know, my favorite word when we do these cooking videos, you want everything to be homogeneous. It's like a beautiful light butter yellow kind of color here. So I'm going to add my onions to the milk and egg mixture and stir that in. And what I've also pre-made ahead of time over here is I have some bacon. I have about 4 pieces of bacon. And the way that I like to cook bacon, that's totally no fuss, no muss, is I like to do it in the microwave. I do like 4 minutes, and then I just kind of move it around. You do it on top of a paper towel also to soak up any excess fat. And then I'll kind of just readjust the pieces, make sure they're not overlapping. And then sometimes I'll flip them. And then I do it for another 3 minutes. And then I put that in a Tupperware. And the pieces that I want to use, I then can crisp up in a pan. They're already cooked, but they're already separated, so it's really easy to do. That's how I like to do it. So I have 4 pieces that I have crisped up in a pan. And I'm gonna crumble that into here as well. Put that in here so I can crumble that up. And then you'll notice that I'm not adding any additional seasoning here. So the onions, when you caramelize them, first after you cut them, you coat them, not coat, but it's like 2 tablespoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of sugar, and you toss them around, and that helps to break down the onions a little bit, like you're macerating it. And then and I use salted butter. So there's plenty of salt in here. You should really use unsalted butter, but living dangerously here. And then the bacon, of course, has some of its own seasoning and rub from, you know, however it was produced. And then we'll have the blue cheese and the lavender. So there's really enough in here. We're not doing a lot of other herbs. You could if you wanted to. You know, there are some herb combinations in your pamphlet of things that go well with lavender, and things like thyme also go great with onions, thyme and rosemary. So you could totally make it your own and customize it to flavor profiles that you know that you love. Oops, I just dumped a whole piece of bacon in there. I want to break that up. Maybe we want to break it up because we do want a little bit of bacon in every piece. You could also reserve some and crumble some on the very top, but it's okay. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees. I already pre-baked my pie crust for about 15 minutes. Fortunately, my pie crust did break in the oven, so we'll see how that does for me. It did kind of crack there, so this will be interesting for me, but it's okay. Otherwise, it is nice and flaky and delicious and golden brown. So I'm going to pour this into my pie crust. Oh, you can't really see my pie crust. Hold on. Boop, there it is. All right. And the egg will help this set up, but because it's mixed with the milk, it'll be kind of like custardy too, so that's fun. Almost like quiche. Okay, and of course it's gonna seep through the large crack that I have, which is fine. Ooh, I overfilled. Overfilled. For occasions like this where you are overfilling like I am, this is the reason why when I put this in the oven, it is going to go onto a baking sheet. So now I'm going to top it with some crumbled blue cheese. I have one that I really like from Trader Joe's, so I'm just gonna kind of lightly crumble that up and evenly distribute this over the top. So I have some lavender, and I'm just gonna get this. This is just about a teaspoon, right? We don't want too much because sometimes with culinary lavender, when you're eating it, you don't want it to taste like soap. Fancy that. But you do want this flavor here. So, okay. And I kind of crushed it a little bit. Let me just do a little bit more because I have a spot that's kind of empty of lavender. That way there's a little bit in each bite, certainly not as much as there is of the bacon or the blue cheese, but there's just gonna be just a little bit. Yeah, I don't need all. Okay, so it's like a heaping teaspoonful. So my oven is at 350. I'm gonna get this on a baking tray and get this in the oven, and then I will come back when this is all baked, and then I'm gonna let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then we'll give it a try together. All right, I'll be back. All right, here it is. The whole thing is much prettier, but I got that first slice disaster piece right here. It also still needs to set a little bit. It does say in the instructions you have to let it set, but I was hungry. This whole house smells amazing. It kind of smells like French onion soup in here. So this is what it looks like. Some layers of onion. You can see some of the like custard, and then the blue cheese and the crust got really nice and brown. And the lavender got a little toasty too. So I'm gonna go right in. This piece has some lavender and some blue cheese in it. It's really hot still. Definitely let yours set like you're supposed to, but I couldn't wait. This is amazing. This might be my new favorite anything in the world. The lavender has turned very herbal. It's not very floral. Like I said, mine is a little salty because I use salted butter. Use unsalted butter. But actually it works really well to enhance the flavor of the lavender, so I'm not that mad at it. And the blue cheese is amazing with the onions, of course, and the bacon and the lavender. I knew that they were going to taste great together. The lavender is such a surprise. It's so wonderful with the onions and the blue cheese. Wow. And it's really subtle, so you have to do it like I did it and just sprinkle a little bit of lavender. It's just a heaping teaspoonful, and make sure it gets a little bit on each piece. This is amazing. It is like elevated French onion soup in a pie crust. Everything is better in a pie crust. Oh my goodness. And I just love the way the blue cheese came out and got like just nice and toasty there on top. The blue cheese is a perfect combination with the lavender. Well, this is amazing. I'm gonna finish eating this. This is maybe one of the best recipes I have ever made here in my kitchen with all of you. So I highly recommend it. If you like cooked onions, caramelized onions, if you like pie, if you like quiche, if you like bacon, if you like cheese, give this a try. This is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go finish eating this because I can't stop. Definitely one of the best things ever. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Even if you didn't get your lavender and you would like to try the recipe, it is linked below or on top, depending on where you're watching this. And if you want to try this, make sure you get culinary grade lavender. Do not get lavender from a craft store. I wouldn't get lavender from a place such as, the online superstore where you get everything shipped in 2 days because you're not really sure of the source. Really get it from a place such as where I get our spices from for the library. This is the Savory Spice Shop or the Spice House. The lavender tea that I got, which is just culinary lavender, is from Harney and Sons. So there are great resources for culinary grade lavender. Some local spice shops or maybe even some ethnic grocery stores might have it as well. Maybe Whole Foods, but make sure you're getting culinary grade lavender. So if you didn't get the kit and you would like to try this recipe, it is linked below along with some other recipes from our pamphlet, and I can't stop eating this. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed spicing up your kitchen this month. We'll be back next month. For May, we'll kick off barbecue season with smoked paprika. All right, everyone. Bye.